Ladies and gentlemen, there always comes a time in the era of social media engagement, all of that, where you witness something kind of crazy. And this situation over here that I'm witnessing right now, and that you probably are as well, is something called a ratio. And a ratio basically is when you make a post or something like that, and then the end result is that there is a bad ratio of either like views to likes, retweets to likes, comments to likes, or basically bookmarks to likes. And this is a situation where the likes over here at 113 are being ratioed by 1.5 million views, 619 quotes and retweets, 549, make it 550, bookmarks, 275 comments, and a community note. That's wild in just 2 days, right? That's crazy in just 2 days. And so you're probably wondering, what is the context of this? Because you can see, there's like BranOnline in here. It's obviously gotcha, and it's related to Genshin. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take you all on this journey over here to break down what the is going on, because this is truly, in my opinion, one of the most ridiculous situations I think anyone has ever seen. So let's start breaking it all down. This is the first post. There's many more, though. Don't worry. I just want to show you who's tagged here. So you got Kensa Eevee, who's going to be the sort of like origin of this very unpopular post. BranOnline, a Genshin CC, and then Duck, another Genshin CC who has pink hair. That's like his main thing. He's got pink hair. So do keep that in mind. Without the monetary support of BranOnline or Duck TV, which is just an odd way to open up a message, implying that they like owed you monetary support, which I don't think they do, I grinded everything I could, and about 78 wishes later, I finally used my guarantee. I won't be rude or mean about this, but I am requesting an apology from BranOnline due to his crude response to my request for help. So basically, right, this guy was like, there's a lot of ways to read into this. Obviously, I think the conclusion most people got into was that, like, this guy was asking streamers for Genshin CCs. He was asking them for money, right? And they said no. And then he was like, well, I don't really like that. You said no. So I'm going to go do it myself, and then I need you to apologize afterwards. Because that's what it looks like at a baseline, right? It seems entitled. It seems stupid. The guy seems like he's like a dumb, like, 10-year-old. Oh, my traveler's got a homeless. Please. BranOnline, please. I need this. Right. It's not a good look. But this is the thing. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to this situation. And my personal take is that this post is so poorly worded, poorly summarizes the whole situation, and just basically frames everything in the most retarded way possible. Because I've seen the video, I've seen the situation, and I've seen the takes. And at a baseline, it just looks like this. You guys know the subreddit, Am I the Asshole? The responses in that subreddit are basically NTA. You're not the asshole. The other person over here is irrational. Then the response is YTA. You are the asshole. You're the asshole. You are a dickhead here. And then there's ESH. Everybody here sucks. Or everybody sucks here. In this situation, this guy looks like the asshole. But the reality is, when you factor in everything, it's a bit more like ESH. Everyone sucks here. Mainly these two. I don't think Duck is really involved from what I've seen. But maybe we'll find out more as we go on. So let's go ahead. And let's take a look at the first little bit of the situation. This is the literal timestamp of the interaction that Kensa Eevee had with BranOnline. So let's go ahead. It's only 1 minute and 35 seconds. Let's take a look at this, because this is the context that we need to know why or why not they're requesting an apology.
Mr. Bran, I lost my 50-50 on Sandrone on my 85th pull. And I really want Odette. Is there any way you'd be able to help me out? I know it's dumb for me to ask, but I thought I could at least try. Yeah, of course. So you lost your 50-50 to Sandrone, so you went into a brand new region totally fresh with a guarantee, and you really want Odette. So
this is the thing. It starts off pretty helpful, right? We're like playing the question back to the guy, framing it so that we know exactly what they're asking, and then we answer the question, right?
Bro, literally, play the game. You have a whole new region in front of you, bro. Go and explore, open some fucking chests. You're probably going to get enough to guarantee you Odette.
So you could tell, not the nicest way to give advice, but like, you know, it's a little sarcastic, but he's not wrong, right? He's not wrong.
It's a brand new region.
And you could have ended it here. But notice that there's still like 40 seconds left in the clip, right? This interaction could be considered over. You could just move on and do other stuff in the stream. But there's still another 40 seconds.
Also, it's fine calling me Mr. Brand, but your first message basically asking me for free shit. Your first ever message, and you don't follow me, by the way.
And now we're kind of going in, aren't we? Yeah, like this is the point where like you could tell there was like a gear switch, and it was like, now we're on the aggro here.
And you don't follow me, by the way. Like,
which obviously, right, is gonna make this person look bad in front of his community, so they're probably not gonna want to come back in the chat or anything like that, right?
So it's like,
this one, I mean, he just keeps going.
Not that I would have given you it if you were, but I just find it kind of funny. I'm curious how many other people you have already asked this question to.
This is the best way that I can sort of summarize the situation. I look at this interaction, I look at this sort of exchange, and all I can think is, man, Bran is like acting like me. Cause like low-key, this is how I would react in this sort of situation. But the thing is that it almost feels like he went a little bit overboard, because my genuine point of view is that if someone was begging me for money, I would have been like, bro, go get a fucking job. Stop typing this desperate shit in my fucking chat, bro. Go get a job, man. You're gonna be able to get any character you want if you get a fucking job, bro. And then I probably would have just left it there and then moved on. And I think the part that really bothered this person, obviously, right, was the fact that he sort of like kept going after there was like a natural conclusion over here, and just kind of like embarrassed the guy even more in this sort of like mini community that Bran has going on, right? And I guess this is the part, right? There's being like a dick and funny. I think Bran's like a little funny here, but I don't think it warrants the amount of dickishness that he's kind of showing. And so this is why I wanted to lead in with this content. Let's finish the clip.
Oh, they're already nuked? How could this be? You got it in 3 pulls. I got through it.
So that's the finishing context of the clip, just to let you know that it's all over right here. And this is the thing, right? I can understand the perspective of the person who feels a bit wronged, right? I can, after seeing this, you can kind of understand the perspective of this, of Kensa Evie, right? The poster, the stuff like that. Because they probably do feel a little bit wronged by what happened over here. And I think this is the case. At this point, once Bran said, explore, go open a fucking chest, we're done here, he's not an asshole. This is an NTA. This is not a situation where I feel like you can bag on the guy at all. But once we start kind of like going over here and now we're just like talking shit, especially, right, in this situation, you gotta understand what you're getting yourself into. You're playing Genshin Impact. You're playing the kiddie game that kiddie kids play, where it's constantly reported that kids are stealing their parents' credit cards to go spend money on Farina's S2, bro. That is the climate. That is the viewership. That is the community of this game. It's a bunch of dumb fucking kids. And Brad, you've been a Genshin CC for like 6 years. You should know that this community is full of like dumb kids. And so you should probably act in a way that coincides with your community of dumb fucking kids and not be a dickhead to them. Because I legitimately think this person's probably just a like 12-year-old who's like was really thinking about stealing his parents' credit cards or some shit. That's the vibe that I get from this. And you would know by your 7th year as a Genshin CC, or 6th or 5th, but I don't fucking know. The game's been out for a while, right? You should know who's going to come into your chat to talk about things like that. And you would probably have the understanding, if this person's in a chat begging for money, they're probably like 12 years old. Wouldn't that be the immediate assumption? If there's like a random chatter on Twitch or on your stream asking for money, they're probably like a 12-year-old. Why would you want to be like why do you need to be such a dickhead like this to like somebody who you pretty much know is a 12-year-old? Do you see what I'm saying? It's you know this person's young at a baseline. Like if Brad were to tell me that he believed this person was like an adult, now you're just known as the guy who like yells at kids that go into his stream. Or you're known as the guy who's just an asshole to like 12-year-olds that are like on your stream. Because it should be obvious to you if somebody's begging for money in your chat, they're like a teenager. I think that's clear. And so do you see why I'm saying everyone sucks here? Because I think as like a 30-plus-year-old man, you should identify right now, identify by now, there's a certain way you should be talking to like 12-year-olds. And it's not being a complete asshole to them all the time. This message is an awful one, right? But why would a 12-year-old go on Twitter to complain afterwards? Let's play back your retarded question one more fucking time, because I don't think you're 12 years old. I think you're retarded. Somebody said if they're 12 years old, why would they go on Twitter to complain? A fucking 12-year-old would go on Twitter to complain because they're an immature little kid. Yes, like, this is what 12-year-olds do. Just because you see Ryuku Sensei going online to go subtweet like a fucking 12-year-old, that doesn't mean that's something that adults do. Just because you see Ryuku Sensei doing it, a fucking 40-plus-year-old man, that doesn't mean that it's a normal thing for 40-plus-year-old men to do. That's the sort of situation. And the end result is, this is a horrifyingly written message. Because I legitimately think this is like a 12-year-old. And so, the post that they made sucks ass. The post that they made really doesn't describe the situation well. And of course, their post got ratioed into infinity and beyond. But this is the thing. Why don't we go ahead and start taking a look at some of the other stuff? Because, like, we've looked at the efforts, right, of probably, like, somebody that's, like, 13 or 14 to create this situation. Now let's look at the efforts of somebody who's, like, 40-plus years old, unemployed, giga-autistic, and has decided to investigate the situation. We got Chrono S over here, who's decided to compile. I don't know how or why they did this, but, like, now I guess they're stalking a 13-year-old on BranOnline's behalf. Because, think about it this way. You're now seeing Genshin players stalking the profiles of somebody who's probably, like, fucking 14 to, like... Do you see how bad this is? Do you guys see how, like, bad this is? That now we're, like, getting to the point where we're, like, going through, like, every single post that, like, this 14-year-old kid is making because he got yelled at by his favorite streamer. Is this where we decided to dedicate our energy as a person? But that's what this community likes. They like bagging on and ganging up on 15-year-old kids because BranOnline is under attack. Do you see why everyone sucks here? Now you have, like, literal kids getting attacked on behalf of BranOnline. That's not a good look. Because this is what you've now done, Bran. You had, like, a 14, 15-year-old message you. You decided to respond in a pretty, like, asshole way to them. And now you have, like, these weirdos stalking their Twitter page, stalking, like, everything that they post to, like, now, like, publicly shame this 14-year-old kid even more. And this is where we've gone. Because this is the Genshin Impact community. And BranOnline, you've been here for 6 fucking years. You've been here for 6 fucking years. And you've somehow managed to get another person brigaded. Brigade Online. I don't know how it happened, but it somehow happened again. Why is this the guy that always leads to somebody getting harassed? I don't know. It's like every time it's always something related to him, right? Somebody gets harassed online, somebody gets ganged up on Twitter, somebody gets ganged up on social media. He's always involved. It happened with Candybug, it happened with Glaive, happened with me. It happens to everybody. Everybody this guy touches or interacts with gets harassed. And this is just another example of it. It's kind of impressive at this point. Bro's got an insane track record. So let's go ahead and see. What is the Genshin community getting super excited about right now. Where they're liking this 12 times, watching somebody stalk a 15-year-old kid. Let's see. I asked BranOnline for help with getting Odette sooner because I always get my 5-star at 80 pity or more. And do you know what he said? He told me to go fucking explore and then banned me from his Twitch chat. Oh, so he did ban him. You made it look like I was a fucking retard. I think that's fair, right? But it's fair to say that Bran did make the guy look retarded here, right? Is that an incorrect statement? Like, is this guy lying? I don't think so. Who didn't think of doing that before asking for help? I rarely use Twitch, which is why I don't follow you there, but I am subscribed to your channels and have watched your videos for a while. What you did was completely uncalled for. This is also a thing you gotta recognize as a part of the Genshin Impact community. Your players are sensitive little delicate fucking pussy flowers. Which you would know as 6 years as a Genshin CC, right? Like, this is basically like saying, I've lived in the American South my entire life. I didn't know they were racist. I don't believe you. I don't believe you when you say you had no idea the South was racist. Like, you're lying. Bran knows that he's interacting with slightly mentally ill, underdeveloped individuals, and he's still acting like that. So when is Ugg paying for the pull? I'm not. I would just tell them to fuck off. Yeah, no, yeah, go fuck off and get a job. I think that's fair. Yeah, I don't think anyone can get mad at me for that one. I understand that I may not have been smart for asking, but I wanted to try even if the answer I got was no. But you went overboard. Basically, what they were saying is, you guys know that popular saying, right? The worst she can say is no.
In front of you, bro. Go and explore. Open some fucking chests.
Like this is what people mean when they say the worst that she can say is no, right? It would end here, but he kept going. It was worse than a no.
It's a brand new region. Also, it's fine calling me Mr. Bran, but your first message...
Yeah, the worst you can say is no, bro. Like, that's what that feels like over there. But you went overboard. I asked for help because the only non-cry character I got was Columbina because I lost on Lauma and couldn't get enough pulls for the rest. So a lot of people have been saying, oh, this person seems like they're old. This person is broke as fuck and leads me to believe they're like 14 or 15 because they're broke as fuck. Like, this person has such a low amount of disposable income, I must assume that they're not at the age where they can actually get a job. Like, this person is fucking desperate, bro. Then I pulled for Sandrone after a break, and I got a C6 Kaching on my 85th pull. Unk, you are taking an L here. That dude is probably not 14, probably around 17 years old with some mental sickness. Let's reread your statement. Unk, you're taking a massive L here. This person's not actually 14. They're just 17 with a severe mental illness that makes them act 14. Is that your logic, actually? Like, oh, they have a severe mental... They're 17 with a severe mental illness that makes them act 14. Unk, you're actually wrong here when you said that they're 14. That's the real L, you fucking moron. So you're basically saying I'm right, but, like, not in that way. Let's clarify this for a second. They might not be 14 or 15, but they're acting like an immature little kid because they're a Genshin player. Because Genshin players are immature little fucking kids. And so even if he's not literally 15, he's acting like a fucking little kid. Which is the type of player that plays this game. Little kids. Mentally, if not physically. Because you have to be mentally a toddler to enjoy this fucking dog shit game. Are we clear now? Does that make sense? So the community that you interact with when you're a Genshin CC is a bunch of underdeveloped weirdos that don't know how to communicate properly, that have a bunch of problems. And so you should moderate how you communicate to that crowd of mentally ill freaks. Talk like a Coco Melon character, like Doro44, so that you don't offend people, because people get offended but when you fucking breathe in the Genshin space. That's the point I'm trying to make over here. You should understand, like a person living in the American South, that the people there are kind of racist. You should understand in Genshin, as a CC who's been covering the game for multiple years, the players are kind of retarded. I don't know how hard that point is to understand. And just because I'm saying they're like 14 or 15, okay, they might not physically be, but they're obviously mentally around that spot. Which means that I haven't gotten a new character since Columbina's release. You made me feel like garbage, and now even one of my friends is telling me to quit the game. Do you see what I mean? typing shit like this? Yeah, so like now like one of my friends on Discord told me I need to go uninstall the game now. This is what I mean by 15 mentally, bro. Who types shit like who types like this unless you're mentally 15? Because nobody would give a fuck that your friend said this. You would find that out by the time you're like mentally 20 that nobody gives a fuck about this. Dude, I saw BranOnline call you out on stream the other day. We can't be friends anymore. Is that an adult conversation? Is that a conversation that adults have with their friends? Yeah, my Oshi BranOnline really did not like what you said on stream, so we can't be friends anymore. Oh, actually, this guy seems pretty old. Yeah, this guy seems pretty old and mature. It's a literal overgrown toddler who has emotional control issues, and then now they're getting ganged up on by literally thousands of people because BranOnline has one of the most brigading toxic communities in the space. That's what this is. A bunch of people beating up somebody mentally ill. And they love this. They love this. They love doing this. And BranOnline is always involved. He's always somehow involved. I don't get it. Every single time, it originates from him. How? Even if you don't see this BranOnline, or even if you ignore me, I just want to know that you could have been nicer with your response to my request for help. Dick move on your part. I think that's fair. I honestly think out of all the messages, this is just fair. He's basically saying, you didn't need to be that much of an asshole to me. I'm your fan, or I was, and it just hurt that you were that much of a dick. You didn't need to be that mean. That's really just the summary of it, and I can't say that he's wrong. I can't say that the person's incorrect. Yes, he could have been nicer. So basically the guy was saying, Bran, you really hurt my feelings. And I wish you were nicer to me, and now they're getting this. That's the take. Bran, I know what I asked for was a little unreasonable, but your response was really mean, and it hurt my feelings, and I didn't like that. And now this is the response. That's basically it, right? It's kind of fucked up when you think about it, right? Like, you got like this 14, 15, whatever-year-old kid, obviously super immature, and they're just like, man, I didn't, you hurt my feelings. I didn't like the way that you treated me. And now this is happening, bro. You know the Genshin community. This person might get doxxed. This person might, like, get, like, their school called or something. This person might get, like, fucking, what's it called? Assassinated or some shit. They might get, like, their accounts hacked. This is what the Genshin community does. And does somebody deserve that? For just wanting to be treated a little bit nicer? Maybe, but I don't think that the consequences equal the input here. I don't think the action deserves a reaction like this. I don't think this person deserves to have their entire, like, social media or life unraveled because they wanted BranOnline to be nicer to them. I don't think they deserve this because they're just a dumb autistic kid who wanted their Oshi to say sorry because their Oshi was mean to them. And now, bro, they're getting dragged for who knows how fucking long. Who knows what's happening to them? Are they getting their shit leaked? What's going on? And we don't know. And that's a little bit rough, isn't it? So now we got the BranOnline response. So this is a situation where Bran has an easy win. Bran could have just said, hey, you know what? I get it, bro. I could have been nicer to you, but it's still, the thing is, you shouldn't really be begging other people's chat. It's all good. You're unbanned. That could have been the easy way to move past this. It's like, bro, like you said, it's not a good look to be, begging for money in people's chats. I'll also say, though, I could have been nicer to you. That is true. But, like, you know, at the end of the day, right, it's just not something you should be doing. Like, there are so many different ways, right, to move on from this. But what do we get instead from a 30-plus-year-old man who's been a CC for 5+ years? Let's see what BranOnline says, guys. I literally said just explore 7.0. Explain how me giving genuine advice for getting a character is a dick move. You asked a stranger on the internet for help getting a new character while being less than 80 pulls away on a new patch? Does Bran look good here? I'm just wondering. Or does Bran seem like he's acting a little bit immature as well? Bran, this person is mentally like fucking 15 and you're a 30-plus-year-old dude. You look so mad here. You look so pressed by like this 14-year-old kid. Why, dude? Like, why are you so mad at a at a kid that's obviously acting this immature? I don't get it. It's kind of embarrassing for an old man of this age to be this pressed by just a dumb teenager begging him for money on Twitch. Maybe Bran is also 15 inside. Because remember what I said? To play this game and enjoy it, you have to be a retarded toddler. And do you see why I'm saying repeatedly over and over again, everyone sucks here? Because this guy is not acting his age either. You know this guy isn't acting his fucking age either with responses like this. He's just trying to pile more hate on the person. The guy basically said, Bran, I've been getting a lot of hate for my last thing because you were acting kind of mean to me. And, like, it would be great if you, like, didn't do that. And then Bran responds by acting even more mean and making the problem worse. Bro, how old are you? Dude, like, be the bigger man. Literally, take the high road. It's so easy to just take the high road with a random no-name viewer. Who cares? I do it all the time. I had one person actually tell me they were, like, autistic, and I apologized in chat. I do it all the time. I actually only yell at people that I know are, like, legitimately just being stupid. Like, if I find out somebody has a reason for it, I apologize later and I take stuff back. But, bro, like, truly, like, is this what, like, 30-plus-year-old CC should be doing? Just, like, fucking ganging up on, like, 15-year-old kids in the space and, like, piling hate on them and shit. Personally, I don't think that's a good look, but that's what this guy does. And he's been involved in, BranOnline has been involved in the harassment of so many oh, great. Yeah, no, this person locked all their posts. Great. Yeah, no, it's already started, ladies and gentlemen. They're probably getting doxxed. They're probably getting the location leaked. Yeah, no, it's probably all in process. Yeah, they locked down their profile. So I think that, yeah, they're probably getting, like, doxxed, leaked, attacked by Genshin, attacked by Brand's community, attacked by everybody. All because they just were unhappy with how mean BranOnline was to them and they just wanted them to say sorry. Great, so now I guess I don't know what's happening to them. I wish them the best of luck, but that is what BranOnline does. That is what he's known for, and he's been involved in this happening to so many people, and we just saw it happen live right here again. I don't know how he keeps doing this, but this is like the 6th time already. I don't know how one guy is always involved in the harassment, the doxing, all of that of so many, like Candybug got doxed as well, and he was involved there. So now it's 2 people that are probably getting doxed. 2 really small people that aren't even like CCs basically getting doxed because of this guy and his community. If doxing is the reason why this person is now locking down their profile. We obviously don't know yet, but if that's true, that's another notch on this guy's, like, fucking hangman tree. Except instead of hanging people, he just gets them doxed with his rabid fucking community. Another notch on that one, brother. Hey, let's see how many fucking tick marks we can get before the year's over. You already got 2. One last thing that I need to add over here. BranOnline recognizes that at this point, when he reacts negatively to a situation, that person gets brigaded, harassed, doxed, etc. And so him deciding to pour even more fire on the flames, especially after the Candybug situation, where literally that person got doxed, harassed after his react to them, and his rabid community went after them, he does it again. He just doubles down on being the dick, making this person Candybug version 2, so that even more harassment, as you can see over here, is happening to them. This guy needs to take accountability, and needs to take it very soon, or there's going to be a very, very, very nasty video that somebody's going to be making in the future that is going to point out every single time he's harassed, brigaded, and tried to ruin the lives of smaller CCs. Or really, just anyone in the community at this point.